this, the metaphoric gates of heaven have indeed opened for us. As we begin to slowly step toward the open gates, we realize and we know and we understand that the first stage of this happens in the soul. That is why Rosh Hashanah, the 10 days leading to Yom Kippur and Yom Kippur itself, are really a marathon of the soul. That's what it is. It's a marathon of the soul. The focus is intensely personal, deep, difficult. It is what we call tikkun hanefesh. We know about tikkun olam, where we try to repair the world. But we have begun today a process called tikkun hanefesh. And what it requires is utmost honesty in self-assessment. That's not easy. We need to face our recurring shortcomings, be willing to acknowledge them, and then, and this is even harder, to look at them not just from our own perspective, but to know how to see them from an outside perspective, the perspective of our fellow human, God's perspective, all those. It is very hard, but utterly rewarding, because our tradition tells us that God will acknowledge, forgive, lend a hand, that we are at all times not alone, that our Creator is by our side. And so as we put our spiritual one foot in front of the other, as we embark on this very necessary marathon of the soul, let us say to ourselves, okay, at this moment I'm here, I'm present, I'm exhaling the stress of the year, I'm ready to embark on this sacred marathon of the soul. And let us also know that in moments of difficulty during this marathon, we can always draw strength from the community, from each other, from God.
So right now, you know, this is a whole new experience that we're having here, and something was bound to happen with all the preparations and everything that we've done. It seems as though you are the lucky 100 that have gotten onto this service, and there are others that have not been able to get onto the Zoom. So what's now happening, if you have friends or loved ones that are not having a hard time getting in, it is being streamed on our custom live streaming service, on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel. So everybody can participate and see the service. So if you do have people that are contacting you or that you know are having trouble getting on, please let them know that they can see it on our TBESOC YouTube channel or our Facebook page. One of the benefits that we have of doing our services online is that for some families, it's easier to have children participate for portions of the service. And we definitely recommend including your children 6th grade on up in all of the different online offerings. For younger children, we've created some learning and discussion videos and materials that you can play when it's convenient throughout the holiday. There's also a special family discussion for 6th and 7th graders. My blessing for all of the children in our congregation is that you feel the strength resilience, and relevance of our sacred tradition. Its power to bring together families and communities in times of difficulty and struggle is like no other. Its ability to provide us with a sacred framework to celebrate the good in life and our own growth is unprecedented. As the wisdom text of Proverbs says about our Torah, it's a tree of life to all that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy.
לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
At this point, we are going to transition into our separate Reform and Conservative styles of worship. For Reform services, you can stay right here on this Zoom link. And our Conservative services, there is a separate link that I believe will appear in the chat, but it's also on your High Holy Day page that you logged in on. There it is. So Shana Tova to everybody. We're going to have lots of opportunities throughout the holiday to come together as one community, to be able to enjoy different styles of worship separately. And so look forward to seeing everybody here together again tomorrow morning. Shana Tova.
Rosh Hashanah begins the season of the soul. Together and individually, we're called upon to cleanse, to refine, to elevate our souls, to shed the unnecessary, the negative, the uncaring, the overly self-absorbed, to become the person we are really meant to be. The definitive announcement of the start of this always life-changing process of Rosh Hashanah are the words, Tik'u b'chodesh shofar, blow the shofar as this new month and new year begin. The marathon of the soul is here. We are commencing. The ancient sound of the shofar was always used to start gatherings and occasions of importance. We are about to acknowledge this festive annual ritual of bringing in the sacred marathon of the soul by reciting these words. The Hineni is the only prayer the cantor chants as a private, personal, one-on-one dialogue with God. It is a moment of full, pure humility in which the cantor comes before God, fully cognizant of her human imperfections, and yet knowing that she will now intercede on behalf of the congregation, and they stand together before God, God's very majestic presence, praying together, petitioning together, wishing together. As the emissary of this sacred congregation, to lead them in this enormous spiritual tsunami of the spirit, of the emotions, the cantor asks God to give her strength, to accept her as worthy of this monumental responsibility, and to not discredit a single member of this holy community for any of her possible deficiency. You are, says the Hineni, the one who listens, dear God, the one who listens to prayer. Hineni, here I am before you now. Please accept my prayer, and above all, their prayers.
Elohei
אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, יהי רצון שנזכה לברכותיך בשנת 5781, our God and God of our ancestors. May we know your blessings in the year 5781. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel with renewed life, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaru ma'ariv aravim bechokma potiach sharim. God of creation, who makes the evening fall from light into darkness with the setting of the sun, you unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars and wrap our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidbaru ma'ariv aravim bechokma potiach sharim. God of creation, who makes the evening fall from light into darkness with the setting of the sun, you unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars and wrap our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
The Ahavat Olam prayer, a prayer said every evening in our liturgy, is almost a twin with the Ahavat Rabbah prayer said every morning in our liturgy. The Ahavat Olam speaks of God's everlasting love for the Jewish people, and the Ahavat Rabbah speaks about God's abundant love for us. Twins indeed, which of course, as you can imagine, led to long, drawn-out Talmudic debates between rabbis, because that's what rabbis did hundreds of years ago, I might add. Which one was more important, abundant, or everlasting? Eventually, to their everlasting abundant credit, they arrived at a wonderful compromise by not choosing one, but choosing both, putting Ahavat Olam in the evening service and Ahavat Rabbah in the morning service. So as we join in the Ahavat Olam, let us not only be grateful for God's everlasting love for us, his people, but for the great art of the compromise shown by our rabbis, giving us this beautiful prayer, reminding us that this is an art, the art of compromise, we ourselves should hone and exercise.
Shema
Kedoshim, Leolechem.
The Mi Chamocha, a prayer which has been set to so many beautiful melodies, is a declaration of God's greatness, a song of thanks. But the underlying message is actually based on a very famous, very inspiring midrash, and is one of total unwavering faith. It tells about a man named Nachshon, who, when standing in front of the waters of the Reed Sea, just as the Israelites left Egypt, in a very crucial moment, they are standing in front of the sea, they're hearing the Egyptians running behind them, they could catch up with them and wreak havoc with their lives. They froze. Everyone froze. Moses said, "Let's go, trust God." No one did. They looked at the sea and they were frozen. Nachshon, a man with faith, unwavering faith, was the only one who had the courage to dip his foot in the water of the sea. He moved in one step at a time. As he moved forward, covered by water, more steps, still covered by water. But when the water reached his neck, they opened miraculously. Nachshon took a chance, freeing his soul to believe even when the odds looked dark and impossible. That is total faith. Think of that when the beautiful Mi Chamocha is being sung.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot sefele, nora tehilot sefele. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe, zeili hanu ve'amru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
Shalom. I begin with shalom because I am greeting all of you. I also begin with shalom because I am speaking about my inner peace. Peace can sound merely sentimental or cliche, but deep down inside, it's what we all yearn for, what I yearn for. Consider the proverb, the highest happiness is peace. Inner peace is one of those things that feels differently to everyone. Some may call it peace of mind. Others would describe it as faith. To me, it's like a strong system of roots that keeps the tree from toppling over no matter how the winds may blow. Most of us would probably agree that inner peace has a lot to do with self-awareness and love. Inner peace can keep me grounded when the world seems to be spinning out of control. When I achieve inner peace, I'm less likely to let the world's negativity shatter my sense of calm. Even in this crazy world, I am continually working on peace. This is not a peace inside that ignores pain in myself or others, or is it acquired by just shutting down? This is a durable peace, a peace I can come home to even if it's been covered over by fear, frustration, or heartache, especially in these times of COVID and political unrest. Living a life of my own, choosing, doesn't mean living selfishly. While I do pursue goals that give me joy, one of the best ways I feel joy is to do something for others, something that they can't do for themselves. Kindness to others usually helps me take my mind off my troubles. Doing a good deed often brings kindness in return. But if it doesn't, it still brings me satisfaction and contributes to my inner peace. Meditation is a powerful tool for calming my mind and my spirit. Daily meditation can help me relieve stress and anxiety, which are the enemies of inner peace. Meditation gives me a much-needed break from the world and puts challenges in perspective. Mindfulness of meditation can bring peace to my mind and body and soul. While I'm at peace, I am engaged with my family, my husband Duncan, my children, my grandchildren, and I am also feeling relatively relaxed, calm, and safe. I am protected from stress. My outlook brightens and I see more opportunities. In relationships, feeling at peace prevents me from overreacting and increases the odds of being treated well by others, which only magnifies again that sense of well-being and supports me in being clear and direct when I need to be. Finally, and most important of all, is peace when I find something transcendental, something eternal, something I call God, Yud-He Vav-He. This is the peace that passeth understanding. And I conclude here because this wraps up what I feel and what peace brings to me. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, lie us down to peace, Adonai our God. And Baruch Atah Adonai, HaPoresh Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Va'al Kol Amo Yisrael, Va'al Yerushalayim. Baruch Atah Adonai, HaPoresh Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Va'al Kol Amo Yisrael, Va'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom all over Israel, your people, and over Yerushalayim.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot, et ha-Shabbat l'torotam berit olam. V'shamru Israel Adonai Satai Tifta, Adonai Satai Tifta, Ufiyahi Tihiatecha, Ufiyahi Tihiatecha. Adonai Satai Tifta, Adonai Satai Tifta, Ufiyahi Tihiatecha, Ufiyahi Tihiatecha. Adonai Satai Tifta, Adonai Satai Tifta, Ufiyahi Tihiatecha, Ufiyahi Tihiatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Eloi avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, האל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, ערב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחלקי לחיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו שיני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל הרחמים זוכה יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. בספר החיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה. בספר חיים ברכה ושלום ופרנסה
I'm sharing these thoughts on behalf of my mother, Sherry Krause, who was feeling ill on the day that we needed to record this video. Any reference to I or me is referring to my mother. Shana Tova. To me, Misha Berach is a powerful statement that we are God's partners. I experienced that firsthand 35 years ago as I was enduring a septic episode in the ICU at UC Irvine Medical Center. I was impressed by the incredible technology, skill, and compassion of the medical staff. But even as they were working on me, there were other powers that were also working to save my life. Myra Gordon, a Temple member and psychologist that I had worked with for training in meditation and self-hypnosis, came to the hospital to support me during the weeks that I was intubated. Myra led me in meditation and reminded me that the unconscious mind never tires and never forgets. Suddenly, even though I was scared and exhausted, I found that I could use my unconscious mind to breathe more easily with the intubation tube. I've often asked myself how I made it through that experience. I know that I made it through because of all of you, my immediate family, my Temple family, and friends from all over the world. I bottomed out, but every time I heard through the haze that one of you had called, that you were outside holding each other up, that you'd driven 200 miles to give blood and brought a friend, I couldn't die. You and your love and your memories of me, where our lives had touched, wouldn't let me go. You, who have given my life so much meaning over the years, literally gave me back myself through your love and memories. You held on with webs of love, tough stuff, and balanced me ever so gently, so lovingly, like on a gauze of dew-laced plants, long enough to keep me on God's 120-year lifeline. Your love and support became a monumental incubator, keeping me safe, allowing me to revive. Like God's fingernails in the clay as God lovingly created the world. At first it was crude, a frame of love of my immediate family and friends pulling around in support, stretching themselves under the harshest of conditions. But then the incubator began to change. As each of you who loved me and who held memories of me called, checked in, came over, gave blood, shared our common pain, the incubator became a most beautiful sculpture with me inside. You became my life support. When I needed to turn, it was as though you turned me. When I needed to breathe, you breathed for me. The incubator you helped create was so magnificent, colorful, distinct, rich, with many traditions of love and yearning after God. And God took clay from earth's four corners and shaped it with God's own hands. I have seen the face of God. It is common. It has eyes and nose and mouth. It is young and old, smiling and sad, but always beautiful. Because God's face is not far from us. It is us. It is all of you reflecting love shiningly, sadly, bravely, creating an incubator, an unbroken chain from God's primordial fingernails. Shana Tova.
We're about to join together in the most central prayer for healing in our liturgy. It's called Mi Sheberach, a name taken from its first two Hebrew words, which mean the one who blessed. In it we turn to God, who is the one who blessed our ancestors, the patriarchs and matriarchs, to heal. We ask for healing, both physical and spiritual, for compassion, for restoration and strength, for our own loved ones, for the community, indeed, for all human beings. Part of its power is that those blessings do connect us to our past through the mention of our ancestors, while we ask for healing for our own loved ones. We ask for wholeness in the context of being together to face painful challenges as a community with a history, an experience that elevates this moment from the mundane to the sacred.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing.
And let us say, as those in need of healing, with the Torah
The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
It is Erev Rosh Hashanah Eve, and an undeniably unusual one it is. Thinking about that, I realized immediately that I am no stranger to unusual Rosh Hashanah Eves. Some have indeed left indelible, life-changing imprints on my soul. I am thinking of my very, very first Erev Rosh Hashanah at Temple Bethel in September of 1988, a day which arrived just a few weeks after I have begun to serve this wonderful congregation as its cantor. It should have been a day of preparation, of contemplation, of preparation, but instead, it was the morning we buried my beloved father, Rabbi Joseph Kalir, who succumbed to a valiant 18-month battle with pancreatic cancer just a couple of days earlier. As an only child, a daddy's girl, I pretty much crumbled under the pain in a strange mixture of overwhelming agony and also numbness. The appearance of the holiday always, as it does, eliminated Shiva, so no communal support was forthcoming. Feeling intensely alone and disconnected from my surroundings, I made my way to the Bima for that first Rosh Hashanah, that Rosh Hashanah Eve at Temple Bethel, as if in a haze. I remember feeling like wobbly jello, yet knowing that I must become rock solid right now in order to lead an expected community in soul-stirring prayer. And then it happened. I looked at the vast congregation before me, and that thing was suddenly there. That tie Jews feel with each other reached out to me, and I was no longer lost. A natural, very organic, familial connection peeled away layers of pain and solitude and reminded me that this community was family. It opened up everything that was shut down a moment earlier, and I was singing not from the pit of loss and loneliness, but from within the embrace of family. It was an indescribably sacred moment, a moment of partnership between a lost soul and all Jewish souls since Sinai. There is a beautiful story which tells about a father and a son walking together as they encounter a very large rock. The child asks the father, "Father, do you think that I'll be able to move this rock?" "Yes, you can," replies the father, "if you use all your strength." So the child begins numerous efforts to move the rock. He pushes, he prods again and again and again. Nothing. He returns to his father saying, "Father, you were wrong. I cannot move this rock at all." Says the father, "No, I was not wrong. You did not use all your strength. You did not ask me. That, my friends, is the essence of community. My community helped me move the rock. Because the reality is that we need each other. Community makes it possible to survive. We know that as Jews. We live by it as Jews. It is in our very DNA. It is, in fact, our strength. Brilliant examples of this in history abound. For example, not too many decades ago, we saved Ethiopian Jewry. Think about it. What other people would send brave individuals to a war zone, as Israel did, to rescue a group of several thousand individuals whom they did not know, who spoke a different language, which was Amharic, because they said, we are your brothers and sisters. That's the kind of community we are, responding to the need to tie together disparate branches of people who are part of the Jewish tradition. The same sentiment was evident in the Soviet Union years ago. Yes, Jews were persecuted, but so was everyone else, all the other religions. But it was only the Jews who created a large, effective, worldwide movement to free Soviet Jews. The operative word was together. We of Temple Bethel, I might add, responded generously and with passion to both efforts. Because Judaism, you know, is not strictly, not only a religion. A religion is just a system of beliefs. Judaism is a religious family, fueled by that hard-to-define, yet ever-present familial tie, which all of us share. This is, by the way, a very important thing to remember nowadays. It's foundational. These are the days of great emphasis on the individual, which we are, but we are really called the people of Israel. We are longtime members of an ancient, noble tradition, navigating all of life's ups and downs as a community. I'm reminded of a proverb I heard long ago that says, if you want to travel fast, travel alone. If you want to travel far, travel together. And there is no denying that as Jews for thousands of years, we have traveled far. We've been everywhere. We've spoken every language, experienced many highs and every possible low, together on every continent, through every era of history. On a smaller scale, we of Temple Bethel have covered quite a bit of ground as well. From a strip mall and a church, to trailers on our own piece of land, to the fabulous building in which we are now, borrowed classrooms and temporary sanctuaries were our way of life for years. I should add that regardless of the location, our sanctuaries always rang, as they do today, with beautiful music. We became a large congregation with a school that has won multiple awards and several prestigious accreditations. We always understood that familial tie thing. For we always sought to help where help was needed, both near and far. Making the world a better place, Tikkun Olam, was with us when we started, and now, almost 4 decades later, still with us, it is still where the soul of Temple Bethel resides. True, it's not always easy. We must learn to deal with many people, other people, their desires, their wants, their needs. It can be a challenge. But what family isn't? You know, it's the mishpacha thing. Sometimes a challenge. Remember Joseph and the coat of many colors? He had a series of dreams about himself and his brothers. What happened to him? He got thrown into a pit. Then he gets sold to Egypt, enslaved, and interprets the dreams of the baker, the cupbearer, and ultimately the dreams of the Pharaoh himself. And what happens to him then? He becomes the viceroy of Egypt. What we have learned here is that when Joseph listened only to his own dreams when he was young, trouble ensued. However, when he learned to listen to the dreams of others, he blossomed. That too applies to community. We do have individual dreams, but as Jews, we must always be part of the realization that collective dreams are there as well. These are the dreams that have given us the miraculous longevity we have enjoyed as the people of the book. This is a sacred, intensely personal legacy that is ours, individually, and once again, above all, together. In the year 2012, when I retired from regular service as the cantor of this great congregation, nearly 30 years of wonderful, glorious, mutual nourishment of heart and soul we had together, I found myself once again on that first Rosh Hashanah, this time not leading the service. Alone, slightly numb, washed over by a strange emptiness, surrounded by question marks, enveloped once again, rather unexpectedly I should add, this time by pain of loss. Who am I now? How do I not do what I've always done? How do I just sit watching from afar? And yet again, I looked around and I saw familiar faces, unfamiliar faces, lives I've known and lives I've yet to know, and realized this is the family, the sacred community we have become together. We've been on this road together for nearly 40 years and we have gone far. Sometimes we bear each other's burdens, share each other's triumphs and setbacks. That is what we've done for each other and are privileged to keep doing as always, reminding ourselves that we are part of each other's dreams as well as our own individual dreams, but we are together. As the Jewish people, we have had grand, life-affirming dreams for thousands of years, And we've realized some of them and saw some of them become the dreams of humankind, even though frequently others try to crush and destroy us and our dreams. Today, I see you all in my mind's eye. I know you are there, for we are together, ready to formalize our collective dreams. Maybe not physically together, but surely in the most meaningful, deepest possible way, spiritually, emotionally, and community-wise, we are one. Think about it. If we were able to come together as one for brothers and sisters in faraway lands, surely the little oddity we are experiencing now, an oddity which will eventually be overcome, cannot break the extraordinarily familial tie that makes us who we are. So this year, in addition to our individual dreams, the important dreams that we have for ourselves, let us bring in, with real intention, with real kavanah, Jewish communal dreams for our extended family as we step forward on the road to the new year, yes, together. Shana Tova Umetuka to all of you. It would have been time to do the very well-known prayer Avinu Malkeinu right now, but it may be an interesting detail to learn that on Shabbat, you don't do the Avinu Malkeinu, and there is a reason, said our rabbis. Well, there probably were hundreds of reasons, because, like I say, there was never anything done that wasn't big discussions and debates. But I think the simplest reason, and the one that is best known, is that the Avinu Malkeinu is so full of requests that we have of God to please do this for us and do this for us and help us with this and do this, that it kind of becomes work. And we do not wish to be guilty of putting God to work on Shabbat. These are as if work-laden requests. So a decision has been made by our wise, sage rabbis that on Shabbat, no Avinu Malkeinu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol am v'romamanu michol lashon v'kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu v'yachavat et yom hashabat hazeh ve'et yom hazikaron hazeh Yom Zikaron Teruah B'Yahava Mikra Kodesh Zecher Letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu Bacharta V'Otanu Kidashta Mikol Hamim Udvarcha Emet V'Kayam La'ad Baruch atah Adonai Melech al kol haaretz Mekadesh HaShabbat v'Yisrael v'Yom HaZikaron. L'chaim.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר וראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
If some messenger were to come to us with the offer that death should be overthrown, but with the one inseparable condition that birth should also cease, if the existing generation were given the chance to live forever, but all the clear understanding that never again would there be a child, a youth, or a first love, never again new persons with new hopes, new ideas, new achievements, ourselves for always and never any others, could the answer be in doubt? When we fear death's decree, let this bring us solace. The memory of loved ones who have gone before us, a vision of generations to come, through whom we reach far into the future, beyond our own lives. Let's treasure the time that we have and resolve to use it well, counting each moment precious, a chance to apprehend some truth, to experience some beauty, to conquer some evil, to ease some suffering, to love and be loved. There is a promise within each of us that only we can fulfill. Let us live our lives so that someday it will be true to say of us, the world is a little better because for just one moment they lived in it. We are going to recite the Mourner's Kaddish. You may stand or sit in your own home, in your own space, as is your custom, feeling the blessing of the people that we are connected to. You're welcome to join me. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach leolam olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela u'le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. As we conclude our time together on this Rosh Hashanah, I'd love to share a poem with you from John O'Donohue about new beginnings. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you are ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety, and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again, with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfuel yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. Shana Tova. I look forward to sharing a beautiful holiday of renewal and connection with all of us.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נוסף וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ויחקרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובר, והוא יהיה לתפארה. והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו, להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית. ולא העוז והמזרח, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי בעת צרה. והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, ונת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אפקיד רוחי, ותשאל
Shalom. I begin with shalom because I am greeting all of you. I also begin with shalom because I am speaking about my inner peace. Peace can sound merely sentimental or cliche, but deep down inside, it's what we all yearn for, what I yearn for. Consider the proverb, the highest happiness is peace. Inner peace is one of those things that feels differently to everyone. Some may call it peace of mind. Others would describe it as faith. To me, it's like a strong system of roots that keeps the tree from toppling.
My friends, it was so wonderful to be together. So wonderful to be together tonight as a community, and we appreciate your kindness and your patience as we worked through some of our technical challenges for tonight, which at this point have been resolved for tomorrow morning. So if you are in touch with friends and family who are joining us for services in the morning, you'll be coming back to this room together at 10 a.m. Shana Tova Umetuka, may this be a year of sweetness, renewed peace for all of us. And as Cantor Shula so lovingly sermonized, may we be together again and strengthen each other in person. Sending love to you all, and I will see you in the morning. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. There we go.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
There's
Beautiful
information in the
services.
chat. I'm so sorry. There's information in the chat about offerings earlier in the morning. We have our family with young
Well, I have
services for families with young children that begins at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. And there's a separate link for that. The conservative is at 9:30, and our focus is here in the room at 10 a.m. All of that can be found
Shabbat Shalom to
on
all.
our website.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's Gary. Gary Eisenberg.
Yes.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
Sue
Shalom.
Trashansky.
I
Everyone.
know.
Diane.
My
Shabbat
goodness.
Shalom.
Oh,
I'm gonna
really, really. I know everybody worked so hard with the problems at the beginning.